empower what's empowering you. Tell you, one of the main things that people have to overcome is called envy, jealousy, competition. It means I'm better than you are, or I get the credit and you don't, so people appreciate me but they won't appreciate you. To appreciate is to increase. That's like acknowledge. And so as we appreciate, what happens so often is people who give to us, it could be teachers, it could be, strangers, or you know, people in a store, or a family member, or anyone, that is empowering you. That means they're contributing to you. And sometimes it's knowledge, sometimes it's a material thing, but you could tell that they really wish you well. A lot of people think, well, I said thank you. That's enough. Thank you isn't enough. What that really means is, oftentimes, the transaction is complete because I said thank you. Some people don't ever even say thank you to anybody or anything. An appreciation, and you could also say, I appreciate that, I'm really grateful for that, or, you know, specifically, and to acknowledge others. And there are people who have so much fear, they can't even acknowledge anyone else, or they take from someone, but they never give to that person. They want something for free. There's really no free, because freedom is what we have, and we're using it all the time. But there's always, what may I say, in a reciprocal life. That means a life that is ever increasing in goodness, in sweetness, in love, all that we are, talent, ability, whatever it is that we need at our true divine level. So, when we appreciate where we're getting from, then what we're receiving actually increases, because we also are knowing we can give, and we're giving to where we get value. Just like, say for instance, like a child and a mother and a father, and the mother really never pays attention, but the father does all the time. So what does the child want to do? Always get the attention of the mother, so it can get the attention, and then it might take on the consciousness of the father, because maybe the mother's attracted to the father, so it then takes on that character, so it can get attention from the mother, because it wants appreciation. You have to appreciate yourself. See, when you appreciate your source, like, I don't take credit for anything, because I don't need it, because I know where the source is, I know where it comes from. I don't need to be glorified. But it's good for others to appreciate us if they're receiving from us, because that's going to also empower them. And in that, empowering them, it also allows us to be empowered in our work and what we're doing. So it's like when we acknowledge, oftentimes I speak about the teacher that taught me opera and to train my voice. Maestro David Kyle, in Seattle, and he always acknowledged, never criticized, never judged, never found fault, always worked on properties, all the time. Plus he gave the system that actually developed a voice into the fullness of what the voice can be. And that can be in our speaking. And remember when I first was starting in speaking to larger groups, and I had my talks taped, my voice was so irritated, awful, screaming, and this. I thought, so I worked at lowering my voice, because my singing voice is a lyric soprano. But hearing somebody talk like this all the time, so maybe then in speaking. See, in the spiritual realm, according to the Vedas, the Puranas, and that is specifically Srimad Bhagavatam Gita, is in the spiritual world, every word is a song. And actually Sanskrit is a sung language. So the tonation and everything, because it's sound. And you have a light and sound manifestation here, then the light is coming from us, it's all coming from us, but it's coming from our source, so it's obviously coming from us, through us, yeah, because that's part of us, where our capabilities are, and we're doing that all the time. So you want to acknowledge what's empowering you, and by focusing, by our gratitude, by empowering them to do their work. So it's the same as there's a product or something that you know is really good, then you'd want to have that and then tell your friends about it so that your friends could also get the value. But people who have envy don't want their friends to prosper. They don't want their friends to be happy. They don't want their friends to, feel good and be all of that. And one of the ways is oftentimes, and my teacher, many teachers, but great, Maharaj, that was a nickname, but Haridas Shastri Maharaj Babaji in Vrindavan, India, and studied with him every day, and it was like for years. And to be there with a great teacher like this and a great person, it's not that I gave him my power, but acknowledging and contributing and serving this person is so great, because I got to have a personal contact and actually be with that kind of a self-realized, God-realized person, and how he operated and who he was and what happened and how he had so much courage, never afraid of anybody. And in India, like even in Vrindavan, you had to have a gunman sit at the door of the dairy so people didn't come steal the cows, and you had to have a gunman at your place, there, because this is what's going on. I mean, it's kind of a wild place. Kind of like a lot of places in the world. I was always safe. I could go everywhere. Walk barefoot a lot. I'm sorry. Yeah, actually got a tape one in the bottom of my feet, and got rid of it too. I said, hey buddy, as I'm using this body, you're going to have to get another one. So, yeah. And then say, what do you call it, killing? Well, in that case, that's okay, because he's actually invaded my space. I didn't get in his body, I got in my body, okay? So it's that thing is when you honor yourself, you honor yourself by the giving to what's giving to you. And when I had my ministry in San Diego, the Church of Religious Science, the Holy Church of Religious Science, and then it was Cole-Whittaker Ministry, I always hired and gave donations to great teachers and authors of wholeness and health and vitality, spiritual, mental, physical well-being, to come and speak and conduct seminars and workshops for my congregation, because my students, that's my job. And especially if I was envious of someone because they were so great, I'd immediately get them. Get over yourself. Get over yourself. And so often you see people, they're so jealous and so envious, they can't acknowledge where they got their good from. They don't want to empower that person because they're competing with. And so what will happen, say you just notice where you're giving. And it's like sometimes those little boxes they have at the market will give to this disease. I said, no, I know how to prevent it. I'm going to give anything, guilt. Got to get you guilt all the time. And what we have to do is to give to what's giving to us, is to acknowledge, appreciate our soul, ourself, the supreme soul, the supreme self, that we all have in common, that we are part of, already joined together and bringing forth our own individuality, because we're eternal persons. I've been in the body. I've been always, it's always me being. And yet I'm also seeking pleasure, and it's the pleasure of the soul, which only comes from a loving relationship. That relationship with myself. So it's appreciating always the God within for the good, for your blessings, for the miracles, for just the consciousness, for it all. And what happens as you do that, you open the floodgates to the treasure house of divine pleasure. And you overcome envy, and you start to look at how can I empower those who are contributing to me, that have helped me to get where I am, so that they can help and continue to do what they're doing. It's just the way you do it. And that's how you focus on that, and that's how you bring your message and who you are and what you are to others, you see. So we can stop giving to that which is against life, that is only for death or for ignorance, and focus and give to that which gives the recognition, realization of more life. That is, and when we do that in an instant, we are in the giving where we realize even a penny, even a note, even an action, even whatever, starts that flow going, so you transcend scarcity, fear, and envy, and you are in abundance. Yes, and grateful and appreciative, and your wealth is increasing constantly because you're in the flow, you're with the flow, you are the flow. Give to what gives to you, and it increases, and that is giving and appreciating the divine